There's a number associated with commercial aviation that most frequent flyers have never heard, and understanding it changes how you think about every flight you've ever taken. It's called the load factor, and at major American carriers, it has been running above 80% for most of the last decade. What that means in practical terms is that on the average domestic flight operating right now, more than 4 out of every 5 seats are filled. What people don't realize is how recently that became normal. In the early years of deregulation, load factors on many routes ran in the 50 and 60% range. Airlines operated flights with significant empty inventory. Fares were higher in real terms on many routes, and the experience of flying included a spatial generosity that is essentially extinct on modern aircraft. What's interesting is what drove the change. The combination of revenue management systems, ancillary fee structures, and relentless capacity discipline transformed the economics of the seat. Airlines learned that an empty seat on a departed flight is revenue that can never be recovered. The entire system was rebuilt around the principle of filling the aircraft. Here's where it gets complicated. The higher the load factor, the more sensitive the entire network becomes to disruption. When flights are 85% full on average, there are very few empty seats available to absorb displaced passengers when something goes wrong. A single cancelled flight at a hub can strand passengers for days during peak travel periods, because the downstream flights are already full. And this is where it shifts. The passenger experience most travellers remember from the 1990s, more space, easier rebooking, less crowded overhead bins, wasn't a product of airlines being generous. It was a product of airlines being less efficient. The comfort came from empty seats, and empty seats became something the industry decided it could no longer afford. But the detail that stands out most is this. The most financially successful era in American airline history is also, by most passenger comfort measures, the least enjoyable era to fly in. Those two facts are directly connected. Did you know the airline industry figured out that your comfort and their profitability were pulling in opposite directions?